Hi, I'm Megan, a designer at Light My Bricks. In this video, I'll show you how to light up your Lego Walt Disney Tribute camera using one of our DIY light bundles. A curated set of our DIY packs designed to be added to your Lego set after it's been built. Follow along at your own pace and feel free to pause or rewind the video whenever you need. The first step is to remove the camera from the stand. To do that, detach the bottom of the film strip and then pull the camera off the stand. There is a little assembly underneath I forgot about that you can pull off first. Then open up your warm white spotlight pack, get one of the large warm white lights and bend the LED back on a 90-degree angle. Then thread that all the way through one of the round open stud plates and click that onto the back of a round plate modified with bar handle. Attach a skeleton arm onto the bar in the way you see here and then another modified plate onto that. Then attach an astro cap on top. Lastly, thread the cable through the gap on the top modified plate with bar handle, and then through the same spot on the bottom one. And do that all again so you have two spotlights. Now we'll remove some pieces from the legs of the stand. Take off this tile from the bottom, then remove this 1x2 plate from underneath, then click it back on so it's horizontal instead. And do the same thing on the opposite leg too. Now place the spotlight on the outside stud of the 1x2 plate that you just moved. Hold the cable so that it's going up the leg between studs and you can click the tile back over the top. And then again, do the same thing on the other side. Now further up the legs, you need to remove this plate, so use a brick separator to lift it off, and the two black bracket assemblies here should pop off with it. You want this to stay as one assembly though, so if they do come off separately, just reattach them together, and remove the same pieces from the other leg. Now this was a little tricky to film, but what I'm doing is routing the spotlight cable up the leg through the center of where that plate we just took off was, so that we can click it back on over the top. I've tried to give you a couple different camera angles here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. As long as you keep the cable right in the center, you shouldn't have any trouble clicking the plate over the top because the studs will avoid it. Next, you can take the door with the viewfinder off the camera itself, and you can also detach the film strip just so it doesn't get in the way. Then take the top of the camera off this bottom grey part that has the handle on it, and then the lid with the Mickey ears can come off too. Use a brick separator to detach this grey plate and then the brown one that was underneath it. Then you can pull off the entire circular lens assembly from the front. The black portion can be put aside. We're going to be working with the grey part that has the lenses on it. Now you can take the little chair out from the inside and also remove the dark bluish grey tile from the front. Around the other side, take off the top two round tiles and attach each one to a round modified plate with bar handle from the spotlight pack. Then get a large cool white light and similarly to before, thread it to a round open stud plate, attach that to a modified plate with bar handle, attach an astro cap on top of the LED. Then click on a skeleton arm, but this one will face the opposite direction to what we did before. Then get one of the modified plates with bar handle that you attached the round tile to and click that onto the bottom, facing the opposite direction to last time as well. Repeat all that so you end up with two spotlights. Attach each of those spotlights where you got those round tile pieces. Then grab this light bluish grey plate and arrange the cables to sit in between studs so you can click that plate over the top here. Now grab that lens assembly and take off the largest of the three. You need to get that inner submodel out, and I found the best way to do that was to push it out using the axle from this other section. Use a brick separator to remove the trans clear boat stud plate from the top. Then get another large cool white light and thread it all the way through the center of this section, bending the LED back at the end so it sits flat in the middle. Then you can click that boat stud plate back over the top. Thread the cable all the way through this cylinder piece and then click that sub-assembly with the light back into place. Now thread the cable through this large round plate and click the entire lens back down. Now remove this arch section so you can get to this plate with the circle on it. Take that off, and for the last time, thread this cable through a hole and attach it to the lens assembly. Hold the cable up and out of the way so you can click that lens assembly back onto the camera. The arch assembly can go back on now too. Then I grabbed this sub-assembly from inside and used it to push down that cable and pin it into place. Now you can kind of gather the cables at the front. You can push them back a bit to make sure they run between the studs and up the back wall. Then put the chair back on top to secure them. And spread them out between the studs so you can pop that tile back at the front. The two plates that were removed from the top can go back on too, and so can the top of the camera. Also make sure the spotlights are sitting very upright so they don't obstruct the handle when you turn it. On this grey section with the handle, remove the tile from the bottom here, then also take off that entire handle. This is attached with Technic, so you do need a bit of elbow grease to get it off. Now reattach that section to the camera and we'll pop this back on the stand. Note that I have the legs with the spotlights away from me and the open side of the camera is facing me. Just lower the camera onto the stand, then pinch the 3 cables, and you can even give them a little twist so they stay together, and run them between the Technic holes so you can put that handle over the top to keep them there. You can also remove the curved tile from up here. Push those cables up a little bit, just so the twisted portion isn't running over the stud, and then click that curved tile back over the top. And the tile from the bottom can pin the cables in place down here too. Now just thread each of those cables through the Technic hole here so they end up underneath in the center of the stand. Routing them through one of the notches in the grey piece above that will also help them look neat. Don't forget to reattach this assembly from the underside as well. Now a quick side quest to light the minifig stand. Remove any minifigs you have on there, as well as that main assembly in the middle. Then pop off this black tile from the bottom. Grab a large cool white light, hold it flat in the middle here and click that black tile over the top to secure it. Then everything you took off can go back on. Where you connect this to the camera depends on where you want to display the minifig stand. I like how it looks to the left of the camera, so that's the leg of the stand I'm working with. I just detached this Technic piece from the bottom of the leg, threaded the cable from the minifig stand through the center of it, and then reattached it to the Lego set. I then brought the cable up to the top of that leg and held it across the plate we took off before. Then with a 1x6 tether, I clicked that over the top, and with that cable running between studs, you should be able to move it back and forth, which means you'll have enough slack to easily adjust where your minifig frame is sitting. Now you can get the Dock 6 from the spotlight pack and plug all of your lights in. In doing so, make sure your cables are coming from behind and underneath the dock, because that will allow you to click the dock over the top of the cables so they're not just dangling everywhere. So I just tried to pull the longer cables back underneath the dock before I clicked it down on top of the tether. Our cables are really good at keeping the shape you bend them into. So any that you think are sticking out too far or you just don't like the look of, just have a play around with pushing and folding and pinching them like I do here. They're quite strong, so you can be firm with them and they won't break. And your brick separator is another great way to push them into spaces you'd like to hide them. Now the door can go back on, as well as the front assembly on the lenses. You can open up your 60cm flux belt and plug that into the dock too, then reattach the film strip and connect to power to see it all lit up. As a huge Disney fan, I love this Lego set. Overall, it is quite minimal, but I think that's all it needs. The warm white spotlights shining up from down the bottom give it a sense of grandeur, and the cool white up top reflect off the white tiles perfectly to give the 100 sign a really cool glow. And the minifig stand is probably my favorite part. It's one of those Lego sets that speaks for itself. Our lights are just there to enhance it, so it's even more of a display piece.